Welcome back. It's been too long. The world is different, I'm different, but despite it all, I have returned after graduating from college to make videos once again. So, Secret of the Mimic, our brand new Five Nights at Freddy's game. We got a trailer in February, Steam page in March, and the game comes out in June. Exciting times, especially for new theories. And thus today, I'd like to share one of my own with you awesome gamers. It deals with Fazbear Entertainment because I believe they have an ulterior motive for retrieving the Mimic. One that involves stealing and committing fraud in order to secure the future of Fazbear Entertainment. And if Secret of the Mimic is a prequel to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, we know it worked like a charm. You're gonna want to stick around for this one because it's a doozy. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, like, sub, comment down below, all that jazz. Now without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nathan, why would Fazbear Entertainment steal? And who would they steal from? After all, don't they make everything themselves? At the beginning of the trailer for Secret of the Mimic, we learned the following.
One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing. Your job is simple. Retrieve the technology that he was developing for us. It's a kind of prototype endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume and become any character.
So Edwin Murray is a contractor for Fazbear Entertainment, and developed technology for them we know as the Mimic. In case you're unaware, a contractor, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a person that has a contract to do work or provide goods and services for another company. So while Edwin may complete some work for Fazbear Entertainment, he is not a part of the company. I know the books say otherwise, but I'm going off of the games. And Fazbear Entertainment refers to Edwin as a contractor, not an employee. Plus, the books are only loosely canon anyway. I might have started a war in the comments with that statement.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Regardless of how you feel, I will be leaving any details out from the books for the sake of simplicity. Okay, so you can probably see where I'm going with this. Edwin goes missing, Fazbear Entertainment raids his costume Manor, and takes not only the Mimic, but everything in Edwin's workshop. Also, if Secret of the Mimic ends up being a prequel to Security Breach, we can confirm they use this to create DJ Music Man, and this to create the staff bots. Yet, it doesn't answer the question. If this is really what happens, what motivation does Fazbear Entertainment have to steal from him? And how can I prove it was stealing rather than contracting? We have yet to figure out what the relationship is like between Edwin and Fazbear Entertainment in the games, but we can confirm he worked on more than just the Mimic for them. On the newly released Steam page, we get a bunch of screenshots from the game. They were taken inside various locations in Murray's costume Manor. One of these images features variants of characters we've seen before, including Montgomery Gator, Happy Frog, and Mr. Hippo. All three of these belong to Fazbear Entertainment, and have been utilized extensively within the brand. However, as we've previously established, they are not the only characters in the building. There is an elephant, sheep, bee, walrus, poodle, and octopus yet to be revealed. Also, whatever these things are. Fazbear Entertainment doesn't own these. Otherwise, as we've seen, they would have wasted no time in capitalizing on them. So knowing how successful Edwin's characters have been in the past for them, why wouldn't they seize the opportunity of his disappearance to add some more members to the Fazbear family? As we've seen with Music Man and the staff bots, they are not above taking someone else's inventions and repurposing them as their own. So how is this any different? Alright, we have a motivation. We have outlined the plan, but the proof is in the pudding. That is to say, can we name an animatronic Edwin made that was stolen by Fazbear Entertainment? Not repurposed, not contracted, stolen. As a matter of fact, we can. One of the things all of Edwin's animatronics have in common is their sounds. Throughout the trailer, we hear many of them.
Leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse, including but not get your affairs in order before arriving.
Now here are some sounds from Fazbear Entertainment's animatronics. there's a very intentional distinction between them, except that one of the sounds you heard is not actually from the trailer and is actually the daycare attendant in Security Breach. Checkmate. Yeah, so the sounds are similar, but the similarities end there, right? Just like many animatronics in Murray's costume Manor, he has visible stitches, fixed eyes that glow, and wears a puffy colored jumpsuit. The fact is that the daycare attendant has more in common with Edwin's creations than he does with anything Fazbear Entertainment. Thus, I believe he originated in Murray's costume Manor. Not only that, but because he is so different than anything Fazbear Entertainment contracted, I don't believe he was ordered by them. And if he wasn't contracted, there can be only one explanation. Fazbear Entertainment found the daycare attendant with all Edwin's other inventions and stole him for themselves. They used him to line their own pockets and committed fraud right in front of us, and yet we never suspected a thing. This sort of deception has me wondering just how much of Fazbear Entertainment's legacy leans on Edwin, and how bad of a stab in the back has Fazbear Entertainment inflicted by stealing from him. During the trailer, we see 3 vintage posters of Fredbear and Spring Bonnie from Fredbear's Family Diner. We've actually seen these before, as they were released prior to Security Breach as a reward for one of Five Nights at Freddy's YouTuber Daco's charity live streams. Their placement here is interesting because as far as we know, Edwin wasn't involved with Fredbear's Family Diner. That was Henry, Emily, and William Afton's thing. Or was it? This version of Spring Bonnie appears in the franchise as Glitch Trap, a character that appeared in Help Wanted. But look at the design. Stitches, fixed eyes, and a permanent smile. Exactly the kind of design features we find among many of the costumes in the Manor. And then there's Fredbear. He has an exaggerated size with 3 feet, and looks similar in shape to the costumes. Once again, the fact of the matter is that these designs have more in common with Murray's costumes than Fazbear Entertainment's animatronics, and they date all the way back to when general admission was a mere 50 cents. So there you have it. Edwin created Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Edwin pioneered many of the animatronics we've come to love. Edwin is the one that made Fazbear Entertainment what it is. And what did they do after all of that? They stole his inventions and took credit for everything, erasing his legacy. So, when you play Secret of the Mimic, don't believe Fazbear Entertainment when they tell you that retrieving the Mimic is for the greater good, or that Edwin was one of their most treasured contractors, because under that sweet talk is a cutthroat company forcing you to do their dirty work, so they can get away with fraud, stealing, and ride off the coattails of a brilliant inventor who is the true hero. But anyway, that's going to do it for this theory. I hope you all enjoyed, because I had a blast making this one. Leave a comment down below if you agree, if you disagree, and tell me which classic animatronics you think originated from Edwin Murray. Before I end this video, I just want to say I'm so happy to be back and talk to you guys after so long. I've been itching to upload for months now, and if you're seeing this video, then it finally happened! Huge shout out to those of you who have stuck around all this time, and to those of you that are new, welcome! So with that said, thank you for watching, and thank you for selecting Awesome Gamer Dude, and I'll see you all back here soon. Goodbye!